Ashok Gulati, Division Director at the International Food Policy Research Institute, joins us on the show from Delhi. Mr. Gulati, really appreciate you joining us. Thanks so much for taking the time out. Likely to be tabled today, what are your preliminary thoughts on the bill's impact on the country's finances? Because people generally believe that this will have a major impact on how even the GDP numbers look like at the end of the current fiscal.
Well, we are expecting that in the very first year, given that the procurement prices of commodities will go up and the price to the poor will remain fixed, it could be anywhere between 80,000 crores to 100,000 crores.
Right, the food security bill, Mr. Gulati, will require procurement of about 65 million tons of grains as against the current levels of 40 million tons. Are farmers able to produce increasing levels of grains as required?
Well, I'm not very much worried on the part of production because our production is reasonably on a good track. It's not flying, but it's not dying either, and it's going ahead. So production-wise, you are going to reap in the coming year the biggest ever harvest of wheat and rice. The procurement, which is likely to be about, I would expect anywhere around 65 to even 70 million tons of procurement of wheat and rice together, is a big challenge, first to procure and then to store in a situation we don't have enough storage capacity in the country. So that is a worry. How will we store it properly without much of damage?
You know, Mr. Gulati, from the market's perspective and generally from the finances perspective, the bigger worry seems to be what happens to the quantum of amount that is dished out every year to keep this bill going or keep the procurement figures going. I mean, what's your belief? Maybe in the first year you talked about figures of 80,000 to 1 lakh crores. What happens 5 years down the line? Because once implemented, there is no chance that this will be taken back.
Well, in 5 years it can touch 200,000 crores. Compared to the current allocation of Ministry of Agriculture, which is responsible for producing food, it is only 20,000 crores.
Right, Mr. Gulati, but the big question then is what will be the impact of the food security bill on food price inflation, which has been such an area of concern?
There are two aspects that we need to look at. One is that it will act as an anchor on the overall price situation because you are giving at 2 rupees or 3 rupees, and if there are leakages in the system, then that will also pull down the domestic price. But then the worry is that there is, if you are saying 110,000, 115,000 crores of rupees floating in the market, that is an extra expenditure you have incurred. That extra money in the system will put pressure on the commodity prices, not only just cereals but other commodities, particularly vegetables, fruits, milk and milk products and other protein products.